Hi beautiful people! This is my best friend Rebecca.
Hi!
And she's going to be kind of sharing some of her story today about bullying as well as her parents being divorced. And I hope that her story can kind of encourage you if you've been through some of these things before or if you're going through it right now. So I'm going to let her kind of take it away and start talking about like when she went through bullying, which was in middle school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go for
All
it.
right. Bullying first started for me when I went to a new school in 6th grade, so I'd been homeschooled before then, and so I didn't really know that many people, and I just moved to a brand new state, so it was pretty crazy. And so I went there. I was kind of awkward and shy. I didn't really have any friends yet. I actually took the bus to get to school, and there were a couple girls in there who were like the popular girls, I guess that's how you say it. And so they started making fun of me all the time. Like, they would play this weird game where they'd be like, guess who? And so they'd say things like, oh, that girl, like they would say this really loud in front of me. They'd be like, oh, guess who's like really fat and doesn't wear makeup and look really weird. They would like say stuff really loudly about me, and I knew it was about me, and it was just really hard to hear and everything. And they went to my school, obviously, and so I'd see them around all the time, and they would kind of talk about my back, but in front of me at the same time. So, like, they would talk about me without actually saying my name, but, like, everyone knew they were talking about me. So that was really hard, especially because I didn't really have any good friends at the time, and I didn't really have anyone to turn to. But it was really hard for me. Pretty much that whole first 2 years of middle school were really hard for me.
Okay, so since you said you didn't really have any friends yet, what or who kind of helped you through that?
So I wasn't really strong in my faith at the time, so I kind of just took it day by day, and I just had this hope somehow that it would get better. And I eventually, later that year, met a really good friend, and she kind of stuck by me through all the bullying, and she was willing to just sit with me at recess and talk, and it was really nice to have a friend who was there for me and would listen and care.
Okay, that was in middle school for you. So then in high school is when your parents got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
You can just talk about that too.
Pretty much my whole life, my parents have fought a lot and everything, but since I was born in a Christian family, I just always assumed that my parents would stay together even though they did fight a lot. And so it was actually the day before my senior year began that my parents brought my sisters and I together, and they kind of just announced that they were getting divorced, and it was completely out of the blue. I had no idea. We didn't really have any warnings at all, and so that really hit me hard. I didn't really know how to deal with it, so I remember I just went to my room and I cried about it. But I'm the kind of person that when something bothers me, I kind of just try to shove it away, and so I cried about it for like an hour, and then the next day at school I tried to pretend like I was fine and it wasn't a big deal. I remember telling my friends about it, but I remember a few weeks later it kind of just blew over for them. They didn't really like think about it, and so I kind of just acted the whole rest of the year like I was fine, even though deep down it really did bother me, and I wasn't even sure how to deal with it at the time. And it really started affecting the way I acted around people. I kind of became way more withdrawn, and I wouldn't really show my true emotions anymore, and it definitely took a hit on my self-esteem because I couldn't really be myself anymore. I kind of was very withdrawn and not open, or I wasn't being myself anymore. I experience with a lot of people who have gone through their parents' divorce experience where you kind of feel like it's your fault, even though it definitely isn't. And I just thought of all the things that maybe I had done wrong or all the things I could have done better. And that just really started to make me feel really bad about myself, and just I felt like I was a failure and I just wasn't good enough.
So what kind of helped you get over that or like overcome that?
I've gotten so much closer, especially after my senior year of high school. That's when my relationship with God really got a lot deeper, and I started to realize that my worth is only found in Christ, and my significance is found in Him. And even if everyone else doesn't like me and they say bad things about me, God proclaims really beautiful things about me, and that's all that matters.
So we have 5 points of encouragement for you if you're going through bullying, or if your parents are getting divorced, or just whatever you may be going through. So the first one is that God feels your pain with you. No matter what you're going through, God is with you, and He feels that pain. He is with you on those nights where you cry yourself to sleep, and He won't leave you for 1 second.
Alright, so the second one is don't isolate yourself. I know this can be really hard when you're feeling really down and depressed and you just want to be all by yourself. It is so important to reach out to others. If you're like me and you didn't have very many friends at the time, reach out to your parents or your brothers or sisters or just anyone that you know, and especially talk to God, because He's there and He feels your pain and He's just there for you.
The third one is specifically for divorce. Like she said, a lot of people blame themselves for their parents getting divorced, but it's not your fault. It's a product of sin is why people get divorced. So do not blame yourself.
Okay, the fourth one is just in the hard moments, keep pressing on and just know that God has a plan for you and a future for you, and so there's always hope. And so just keep pressing on and know that God is with you and fighting for you every single day.
The last one is probably the hardest, and that is to love your enemies and to pray for them. That's when God can heal us, and he can heal those wounds in us, and he can fix what's been broken. Well, that's all for us. I hope that this helped you a little bit or encouraged you for whatever you're going through. And I hope that you enjoyed meeting Rebecca. She's great. So, yeah, have a great day and know that you are so loved and so beautiful. So we will just finish our sophomore. So looking back, so would you say that both of the... So now that we're in college and you've kind of looked back on these things... Now that we're in college and you've kind of looked back on these things, do you think that... Nope,
That was so close.
Oh no. Would you say that it's middle school?